What's up? This is Gordon Gray from Half Lit and DopelivenTV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219. Stand up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man, Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Tretch in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy, Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
All right, let's get it in. This is Greg Gray. This is Dope Living TV Live. Let's start it out by saying the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. Y'all know we've been doing that for 3 years, so y'all know the routine. Y'all should be able to say it with me, actually, all right? Let's bring the crew on. What's going on, Gina?
I can say it with you.
Yeah, I know you can. You better be able to.
I haven't seen you since last year.
You ain't seen me since last year? Wow, a couple of days. What's wrong with you? Moby, what's up?
What's happening, Mo?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
She clown. That's all right. We got our own life coach.
What's good?
What's happening, Coach?
Man, just got done shooting the episode for the podcast with our mom. We got greatness. Just move on. Don't worry about me.
Hey, okay, greatness. Happy New Year, everybody.
What's
All
up,
right.
Hey, Mercy.
Seems like it's been ages since we've seen each other, huh?
It does, doesn't it?
A whole 365 in one day.
What?
Y'all good. Welcome back, guys. All right. Happy New Year to each and every one of you guys, first of all. It is the new year, and today we want to start the new year off right. We want to start it off inspiring people to do some great. We got a guy on here, man, that he how can I say it? He's
getting our men right. Let me say it.
Right there.
He's a fitness expert, okay, he's a fitness expert. He's teaching men to get themselves right, not just with their minds, but with their bodies as well, okay? And he's going to tell us a little bit about that, his journey. I read something before we came on. I read something about, I was on his page and I read a story that really got him started. So I'm going to ask him to talk about that as well. But he's going to help men become the greatest version of themselves. And he got a whole hour to do it. So we're going to make that happen. Hey, before we get started, though, man, again, Happy New Year. We lost a lot of people this past week, okay? Really run down real quick, okay? Remember the Pointer Sisters, all right? We had a great group in the 80s, 90s, all right? Anita Pointer, the sister, she died, all right? Just found out, the iconic group Earth, Wind, and Fire, all right? The drummer, Fred White.
Fred White. Now that one you got me on.
He died, all right? Gangsta Boo.
Yes.
I saw that.
3-6 Mafia.
Yeah.
He's gone, man, and of course, the iconic Barbara Walters.
We grew up with Barbara. Yeah. Hey, Barbara.
And it's just a testament to say, hey, man, look, let's check on each other. Let's support one another and give everybody their flowers while they're here.
Absolutely.
Too late while they're gone. All right. We send our condolences out to the families of everybody. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. We'll talk about it. Right now, man, let's get started. This gentleman has his own company. It's called Hardin Athletics. He's a fitness guru. He's trying to teach men to get your body right. Get yourself right. Get that man bod off of you so that your mind can be a little bit better. All right. Everybody, y'all welcome Mr. Montel Hardin.
Welcome.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Good.
Awesome. All right.
Good.
Excited to be here.
Man, first of all, bro, let me thank you for coming through. All right. He's all the way in Birmingham, Alabama, you guys.
Okay.
and he's transforming the way that men think as well as the way that they look. You know, trying to get them to a better place in their lives. All right, Montel, you want to tell us about Hardin Athletics?
Yeah, so I started I guess kind of walking back to my journey overall in health and fitness. Started off just a personal trainer in a Planet Fitness. I think everybody, pretty much knows the Planet Fitness. You might go to one, you might have one right around the corner. But
Just left.
I started off at Planet Fitness, just a regular personal trainer, and I just kind of fell in love with the job. This was about 5 years ago, about 6 years ago. Fell in love with the job. Like, man, I finally found what I wanted to do. I had a degree in marketing, and I hated it. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I have no clue what I want to do, and I ended up stumbling upon that, and spent about a year training there, and fell in love with it. The clients that were there that I trained, they love me, but at the box gym, there are certain things you can't do. You can't really coach nutrition. You can't really kind of dictate your schedule. There's a lot of things from a logistics perspective that just doesn't work when it comes to getting clients long-term results. So I was like, I don't really like this setup. So let me see if I can do my own thing. And then from there, uh, I decided to kind of step out. I think it was December of 2017 where I left the box gym and I started my own thing. I took like 2 of those clients with me, made like $300 that first month. So I was like, man, I really hope this works out because I
Yes, sir.
can't pay my bills like this. But yeah, eventually I just, hustled, try to get people on board. And 5 years later, we are here. Our company is fully online now. Right now, we are working with we've got about 75 men in our program currently. And the mission is simple, just helping guys get in the best shape of their life and, using that to elevate every aspect. And I know a lot of guys might not think that getting in better shape is going to trickle into other places, but I promise you, once you experience it, it will.
Exactly.
Line.
And that's what we want to break, man. We want to break that stubborn mentality. All right. Help is there. Help is available. You got to take the help. All right. And if it's not something that you feel is good for you, all right, open your minds up. It may be just good for you. All right. Montel, I was reading earlier a post that you put out there. And you were saying back when you were 11 years old, something happened to you to make you say, hey, man, I'm going to do whatever I want to do and I'm going to be a better man. All right. You want to share that if you don't mind?
Yeah. So it's funny. That's probably the most popular post. All the helping you figure out what to eat, what works.
Right.
They ain't care about that.
Exactly.
But when you all hear it, you're going to understand why I asked him about this and see and then you'll understand why he's doing what he's doing all the way around. Go ahead, Montel.
Yeah. So I basically I was 11 years old, and up until that point, didn't really have much of any relationship with my dad. Probably he came around maybe 5 or 6 times from birth till 11 years old. I had seen him. So I never spent a Christmas with him until 11 years old. Then at 11, we finally, I guess my mom decided to let us go, or I don't know the logistics behind that, but she let us go over there for Christmas. It's the first time ever, so we're super excited. And we get there and we're running to the Christmas tree. And it's like, oh, we're glad, we're here with our dad. We got presents, but it's like, as soon as we get in the house, he leaves the room. He's like, he doesn't even care, about us opening the presents. And he leaves the room, and we kind of mess around the Christmas tree. All the other presents have already been opened because he had 2 stepsons that, with his wife then.
Right.
And all their presents were already open. Like, it's wrappers all over the place. It's like, it's obvious that Christmas is over for everybody else in the house. But we, fumbling through the wrappers trying to find our presents, and we ended up not finding anything. And then we went and got our dad. It was like, hey, there's no presents under the tree. And then he's like, well, he asked the stepsons, like, where are the presents? What'd you do with the presents? And they was like, oh, well, there wasn't a name on those. We thought they were for us. It was it was a toy airplane and a basketball. I had gotten into basketball at that time, so I assumed the basketball was for me, and then the toy airplane for my other brother. So the toy airplane, one of the stepsons opened it and flew it on top of the house. So no, that's gone just like that. Christmas morning, it's already gone. And then the basketball, they lived on a hill, and the basketball rolled all the way down the hill, and there's like a ditch. that typically if you don't catch it, the ball rolls straight into the ditch. So basketball was gone to literally not only were our presents opened by somebody else, they were destroyed
by somebody else.
Wow.
By somebody else. So I had looked at that and I already didn't really care. I kind of gotten past the point of caring about my dad being around or, caring about having anything to do with him. I never really had a lot of anger towards that. I had a lot of other things that I didn't realize affected me, but I didn't really have a lot of anger towards it. I was just kind of like, I love my life. I'm happy. I got what I need. I got my brothers. I got my mom. I got my friends, whatever. So I didn't really think about it too much. But at that moment, I was like, I came here finally thinking that he was going to do something for me, that he was going to, kind of put some goodwill out there, that I was going to get that father-son moment that I'd never had like once ever in my life. I didn't get it. So I was like, okay, cool. I will never again in my life have my hand out waiting on somebody to do something for me or put an expectation on somebody to do something for me. From now on, if I have a problem or if I have something that I want to do or accomplish or an experience that I want to create, I'm going to do it on my own. So from 11 years old, I instantly started thinking like, okay, how do I want my kids' Christmas to be? What type of father do I want to be? What type of career do I want to have so that I can be as present as possible? Like even me coaching online, I made this transition 2 years. We have a 4-month-old now, but we made this transition 2 years before she was ever thought of. Yeah, that's her and my beautiful wife right there, Callie and Tosh. Tosh is my wife. Callie's our daughter. But
who's in the background?
I think it's some goats and
that's where they get that fresh milk from.
A little farm here in Birmingham. I think it was for Thanksgiving or Halloween, something. And we went out there. But yeah, even just my career and the way that I choose to work, I wanted to be at home. I wanted to have freedom of schedule because I want to be. I want one of the memories for my daughter to be, or my daughter and my kids eventually, to be that I was always there. I was present. I was there for everything that they did. I was, they remember the Christmas gifts that I gave them and the things that we did for Christmas. Like my biggest thing was just wanting to be as present as possible. So that's kind of where my mind shifted to as soon as I had that situation. Even at 11 years old, I remember to this day thinking like, I'm not going to be that type of man. And just kind of, I bumped my head a lot. Definitely not saying that I'm perfect by any means, because I bumped my head a lot from 11 to 26. But overall, my mission has been, kind of geared towards where I am now.
That's what's up. My life coach, and you're hearing this story, man. What does that put you?
Yeah. Man, my man said from 11 to 26. And I'm gonna tell you something. To be an 11-year-old, you feel me? And to figure out that you had enough gumption to take control. You feel me? It's crazy because most 11-year-olds, what you trying to do? You trying to go out there, play basketball, kick it with your friends and whatnot. But you had a pivotal moment in your life where you actually said, look, I don't want to be a certain way. So at 11, you said, I'm going to do everything I can. And you know what, man? You ain't got to be perfect. That's a part of the whole learning experience, bro. So just keep learning and growing as you keep setting those different goals and objectives that you have.
Sure. I appreciate it, man.
That's something, man. That's a story because it's kind of like a shame you had to grow up at that moment,
age.
And you lost your childhood. Go ahead, Marcy.
No, I'm just saying at that age where you have, like you just said, you have to grow up at that age. But I like how he was persistent and consistent with that, and how he's, that he kept that mindset, because a lot of people as a child would have that at that age, but then as they got older, they will come out of it. But I love it. He didn't use that as a negative. Well, this is how I was raised, so this is the type of father I'm gonna be. He changed the script.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Montel, as you came up and you decided this was what you wanted to do. Now, when people look at, I'll say, fitness experts and fitness gurus, they look into these cocky these cocky I was going to say something else and this and that, okay? But what made you just want to say, I'm going to do that and I'm going to be me as opposed to trying to be them,
Yeah, for sure. So for me, it's the journey to self-improvement, just trying to figure out how to be as good a person, as valuable a person as I can be. My biggest thing was I was very undisciplined in my eyes. I was an undisciplined teenager. I was I didn't really have a lot of motivation, didn't really have a lot of confidence, even though if you would have asked me at 16, was I confident? I would have said yes. But looking back at it, saw the things that I did and the way that I approached situations and the way I communicated with people, and I realized that I wasn't. So I didn't have much confidence, much discipline, much belief that I could do anything great. Um, and me getting in shape, I remember going to college and I hated the whole, as soon as I got to college, because I was in there for marketing and I thought that I was going to be, straight on the pathway to the C-suite and the big high-rise building in Chicago or something like that. But it was nothing like that. I was taking geometry my first semester and history. I'm like, this has nothing to do with marketing. And
Nothing to do with it.
instantly burnt out on the
There you
whole
go.
concept of college, and I never really got it back. So I really spent my first few months in college moping around, sleeping in, barely getting by. And I was like, I can't live like this because I played basketball in high school, so I've always been active. And I was like, I can't live like this. Like, I got to do something. I got to get active. I got to get out the slump. So I decided to walk down to the complex gym. I mean, the school gym, and had no clue what I was doing. Stayed in there messing around with the weights and the machines, looking like an idiot. But I was like, man, you know what? I think I want to put on a little bit of muscle because I was a skinny dude. I was like 140 pounds in college. I'm only 5'9", so I look like a little kid out there. Yeah, with the 6'5" quarterback and
I
all
hear
that.
you,
I'm
bro.
like, man, I ain't gonna get no girls walking around here looking like a little kid. So I went to the gym, started lifting weights, started figuring it out. And I was like, what it taught me, because I've never been a huge body obsessed person. It was more about the habit for me, but it taught me discipline. It taught me being able to do something without getting instant gratification and not necessarily seeing the outcome immediately. It taught me faith. I've always been big in my faith, and ironically, the gym made me bigger in it because it's like, hey, sometimes you have to do things without necessarily seeing the fruit of it immediately. Sometimes you have to do things days and months and years before you truly see the outcome of it. So it really taught me a lot. It taught me to do what I say I'm gonna do, which I think is a huge thing for me personally. Is like,
Yeah.
uh, you lose confidence in
Definitely.
yourself not by the way you look, but when you tell yourself that, hey, you're gonna go to the gym today, or you're gonna stop eating this, or you're going to do whatever, and when you don't do it, that's
Yep.
when you lose confidence in yourself.
Yep.
That's you, the voice in your head. You no longer trust yourself, and you start that negative self talk. Oh, you know you're not gonna do it. Oh, you know you said that yesterday. You know you're not gonna
Facts.
go. So
Mm.
I stopped that voice in my head by saying, "Hey, I'm getting up at 5 a.m. on in college, right before my 8 o'clock. I'm getting up at 5 a.m. going to the gym. I'm meal prepping in my college dorm room, living on like $20 a week of food. I'm figuring out how to eat clean on $20 a week.
Wow.
Wow,
And
that's hard.
That's hard.
Man, $20, boy. That's ramen days for
The
you,
ramen
boy.
noodle
yeah,
days.
No, not
it
to eat
was
clean. That's
the tuna packs.
I'm
Yeah.
getting ready to say tuna fish.
Yeah, tuna
Hmm.
packs. It was protein, and then it was I had a couple of free meals a day at school, so that kind of bridged me over. But yeah, all of that really just kind of helped me realize like how important discipline is and how important doing what you say you're gonna do is, and that's really what I want to convey to people is like your life changes when you can kind of develop those skill sets for yourself.
Definitely.
Mm.
yeah, that
And
discipline.
that's a great sentiment, man. You've now transformed everything. Your goal is to inspire men to be more than what they thought they could be, to bet on themselves, chase what truly matters to them. Doing it for yourself, and as you develop that discipline for yourself, what made you want to give it to others? Is it just when you looked around and you saw people, or did people come to you and ask you questions?
Yeah, so for me, I've always been a helper, I guess you could say. I've always wanted to help people. I've always thought about, bringing value to the relationships around me. So I always was like, what can I do? Like, what do I contribute to society? And this is also something that affected my confidence because I never felt like I was great at anything. I always felt like I was average. Like, I could get by doing pretty much anything. I'm a good communicator. I'm relatively good looking. I guess that's, to the eye of the beholder. But overall, I feel like I'm an average person in every aspect.
Ladies.
So, so I felt average, but I'm like, I don't want to be average. I want to actually be good at something. Even in sports and basketball, I was an average player on the team. Sometimes I started 6 man coming off the bench every once in a while, but no colleges were looking at me. It was like I already knew what it was. I was an average player, average student.
Mhm.
So that was like, for me, I always wanted to figure out something that I could do that was of high impact to a lot of people. And some of the I guess most depressing moments of my life were working jobs that I didn't feel like that, because I had a job
Mm.
working at a
Mhm.
furniture store and selling furniture. And I would go home and like I'm working a 10-hour shift, and the most impactful thing I did that day was help somebody upgrade their living room set. Like, no offense to anybody that might be working, in that industry, but for me personally, that didn't move the needle. Like, that did not make me feel anything, that
Mhm.
Mhm.
all my time was spent doing that. So a
Yeah.
lot of it was like, "Hey, what can you do that really impacts people on a large scale?" So I thought back to myself and like, "Well, what did you do for yourself that you
Mhm.
felt impacted?" And it was like, "Oh, it was getting in shape, it's going to the gym, it's eating high quality food, it's doing what I say I'm gonna do." So I just wanted to help other people do that and help men and women for a long time. My wife actually runs our women's sector of the
Mhm.
program. And
Okay.
then over the last couple of years is when I really made the decision to be like, I think men need this a lot. Not to say they need it more than women, but I think men need the perspective a lot more than women. That's where I really kind of dove into that.
Mm.
I agree with you totally, man. Jeff, you had a question?
Yeah, man, I want to know. You see, I want to get to the job aspect, because the thing is,
Mhm.
you help people, and while you're helping people, I know you come across a lot of different people with attitudes and everything like that. Because you listen, man, we gonna keep it real. We men, you know what I mean? If you tell me what to do, a lot of times it's gonna be hard for me to say, nah, I don't trust that. I think I can do it my own way. So
Mhm.
just describe some of those challenges that you end up facing with some of those men. Are they real stubborn? Are they really receptive, or do they come in with the big gut and they be like, you got to get right? That's a struggle.
Yeah, for sure. So stubbornness is definitely a thing, but it really is more so in the I don't need help stuff. Like most
Mm.
guys are either I don't need help, I can do it myself. Like I hear all the time. I used to
Mhm.
play football in college. Like, bro, you 43, you're on high blood pressure medication, your diet, like nobody care. I promise you, I don't care that you used to play football in college. It plays no impact on
There
their
you go.
current health status today. So a lot of guys kind of had that bravado. You know how it is. We all got our ego and things
Mhm.
like that. And usually the hardest part for most guys is admitting like, hey, I actually do need some help. I do need some accountability. I do need some
Mhm.
structure.
Facts.
But once they make that decision, it's a lot easier. But that
Mm.
decision is a hard one, and honestly, for most men, it never happens. For most men, they never make the link that, hey, I think I need some help with this. They just keep on, chest out, and I'll be all right. I'll be all right. They way all the way through it.
Mhm.
I've not to be morbid, but I've had conversations with maybe 10 different guys that have passed away over the last 5 years, due to, issues with their health, that
Wow.
had they decided that you would get some help, we might have been able to avoid that. So
That's right.
Mm.
They used to play football in high school. Now they just play with their feet.
Uh-uh.
The question.
No. You know what? A lot of times I hear that it's easier for men to lose weight than women. How true is that?
this actually is true. Men
Really?
have a base level body fat percentage that's lower than women's because we have more lean muscle.
Hmm.
Just due
Mhm.
to evolutionary purposes, you got to kill the hunt lions and
Right.
all the good stuff. You need
Mhm.
more muscle. So men have more muscle on their frame, which increases men's metabolism and it helps them burn body fat faster. Women,
Mm.
because of complex reproductive system, your reproductive system and your sexual organs and your organs in general, they require body fat. So that's why women typically hold more body fat, especially around the waistline, around the glutes, around the
Mhm.
chest. These are the reproductive organs in the areas, and women just are healthier at a body fat percentage, which is why women's bodies don't necessarily want to lose fat as fast as men's does, because it's a health thing. Like for a man, for example, a man can have six-pack abs and be, very healthy. But most women, if they get to the point of leanness where they have six-pack abs, then they'll, excuse me, experience, their menstrual cycle might be off. They might have brain fog. They might have a lot of different things go on because their body just doesn't want to get that lean. So,
Mhm.
long
Causing problems with reproduction too, right?
exactly, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it is easier for men. So if y'all got, your
So
husband.
you just told us we should stay fat.
Pretty much.
You know,
No,
he
we
likes
don't
something to
wanna
grab
we
on a
don't
little
go
bit.
after
You
and
know,
say
give me something
it
to
don't
hold, baby.
necessarily have to be fat. It's just healthy.
I'll tell you this, man. To what Montel just said, okay, the men lose it quicker than the women, all right? I tell you, you can go around this country, bruh, and hopefully those people that are watching, y'all might subscribe to my Hardin Fit Athletics.
Athletics.
It's a whole bunch of guys that have not seen their feet when the water drops in the shower, man, in a minute. There's a whole lot of and in denial. They think that stuff looks good, and it does not. All right. And I'm telling you, man, they really need your help. Look, when I reached out to Montel, I like to do push-ups. All right. I like to stay physically fit at my age. All right. And did you all know? I don't know how many of you guys on the panel or either you guys in the audience know that I admit it, and I told you, Montel, I've been doing push-ups wrong a long time. All right, and I'm going to play this, and then you elaborate on this, Montel. This is for push-ups and chest muscle. But y'all check this out, especially you guys. Check this out.
Push-ups are really a great movement to build up your chest muscles, but most guys do them completely wrong. Most guys start out with their hands way too wide and their elbows flared out, something like this. All that does is put tension on the elbows and the shoulders and not really any on the chest muscles where we actually want it. So instead of flaring out, bring your arms right underneath your shoulders, right here. Bring it all the way down, and you want to make sure that your elbow comes back past your back so that you really get a full squeeze of the chest. And then you push and you squeeze right here. Obviously, you can incline this, you can decline it to get different angles. You can make this exercise very beneficial for you. You just have to know how to execute it. Make sure to like and follow for more tips helping you get rid of the dad bod.
Wow.
Look
here.
You're over there laughing, Jeff. Okay, but look.
Let me tell you about that execution.
Yeah. So I'm out here with the wings. I'm doing all of that.
Yeah, that's how I do it too.
I saw that TikTok, and I'm like, I'm doing it wrong. And I even mentioned to Montel, I'm doing it wrong. So I tried it the way he said it. I got to start all over, dude. It's hard. Okay? Now, what's the difference?
Yeah, so biggest thing is, without giving an anatomy lesson, you just got to understand how the muscle, how your muscles work. So bringing your arms super far out, what that does is it takes tension off the shoulders off the chest, and then it puts it into the shoulders when you bring your arms far out. So you get all shoulder and elbow tension, which is why if you do push-ups like that, you probably notice that your shoulders start to burn way quicker than your chest does because your arms are too far out. When you bring your arm in, what this does, and you guys can probably do it right now. If you take your arm and you bring it right here and you hold your chest, you'll feel it tighten.
Right here.
Bring your arm across your body. You can feel your chest squeeze and tighten. You want to start the movement with your chest squeezed like this. You bring it all the way down and it stretches it. It puts a full stretch on it, and then you come down and it puts a full squeeze on it. So that's how you want to move through that, through that movement. But it's all about, for any muscle group or any exercise, it's about you know what muscle group is working and making sure that you're moving in that plane.
And I'm sitting up here telling everybody, yeah, man, I could bust 100 push-ups easy, dog. And I'm doing them wrong. And I tried to do it the way that Montel says, and I felt it. I'm telling you, I felt it. But I probably did 10. I ain't gonna lie, Montel. I probably did 10. Yep. That was all I could. I did them wrong.
Hey, I have guys come in into my program, and they think they got every exercise figured out, and they show me their form video, and I'm like, hey, let's change this, and this. And they're like, man, I had to go down about 100 pounds on that exercise.
Exactly.
You got to do it the right way.
Oh, there's another one where I had to change something up too. Okay, Coach, you had a question.
Man, when we talk about doing these push-ups, dog, it's just, I wonder, what type of foods are you coupling with these exercises, man? You know what I mean? Because as we continue to work out, everybody want to get trim, lean. You know what I mean? Cut in the arm. You can't see it, but it's under there. But I just wanted to know what you kind of match up with all of that. What do you recommend?
For sure. So protein first, biggest thing. A lot of guys, women especially. Women actually have a little bit more of a problem, in my experience, getting in protein than men. You guys' appetites are just smaller, so it's not likely that you'll be able to eat, a whole, leg of chicken and all that. 3-4 times a day. But even guys mess up with that when it comes to clean protein sources. So making sure that you build your plate. This is how we have our clients do when they first come into the program. So you get a medium-sized plate, and in half of that plate, you put protein in it. So that can be chicken, fish, steak, salmon, tilapia, shrimp, you name it. Pretty much any, lean protein source. And then in another 25% of the plate, you'll have your quote unquote starchy carb. This could be fruit, it could be potatoes, it could be wheat bread, anything like that. Oatmeal, quinoa, whatever carbohydrate source you want to use. And then in the other 25%, we got vegetables. So your broccoli, your spinach, your kale, your Brussels sprouts, whatever you want to do. And that's how you want to build your plate out. Have that about 3 times a day, and you'll see amazing progress. Like I said, medium-sized plate, half of it protein, 25% carbs, and then 25% vegetables, and you'll get in very good shape just doing that.
He spoke on that on the TikTok too. Let's check this out.
How do your man boobs getting in the way and messing up all your outfits? Here's what to change in your food to get rid of them. Eat 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. So you can lose a lot of weight, but still be the same or an even higher body fat percentage. Getting in adequate protein, make sure that this doesn't happen to you. Throttle your carbs with your activity. Days where you're more active, eat more carbs. Days where you're less active, eat less carbs. Get rid of the grazing and the snacking all the time and only eat 3 to 4 balanced meals every day. Make sure to like and follow for more tips helping you lose the dad bod.
Because my son, he played football in college, and him and I used to work out a lot. Then I stopped for a little bit. I had a rotator cuff surgery. So one day he came to me and said, "Hey, Dad, you got 80 titties." I'm like, 80 titties? What are you talking about, dude? He said, "Man, you falling." I said, "Well, no, I can't fall, dude. I can't do that. I thought only women did that." But yeah, it happens to me too. Maurice, you have a question.
I actually had a statement about the push-ups. That's the way I was taught to do push-ups. My cousin was a Marine, and that's exactly the way they do them in the Marine Corps.
Yep.
Yeah,
they want to get out as many as they can. So it's easier to do them that way. But form-wise and health-wise for your shoulders,
yeah.
That's the way to go.
Let's talk about that form real quick, all right?
Not seeing any muscle definition because you're speeding through your reps like this. It's trying to get from point A to point B. Slow down, slow and controlled, squeeze at the bottom of that rep, and focus on the form, not just point A to point B, and finishing out a rep count. Make sure to like and follow for more efficient fat loss tips.
Saying, man, that is so true. Now, I used to work at Life Fitness where they made these exercise equipment and this and that, and I'm up there doing just what he said. I'm going fast because I'm like, I want to make sure I do that circuit. I want to do the circuit, all right? But it's not about how quickly or how many reps. It's about the effectiveness and your discipline and how you do it. And I just this past week, I've learned so much from you, Montel. I want to thank you for that. Marcella, you had a question.
Yeah. Montel, where does sleep come in with all of this?
Sleep is huge, and this is something that we can never get our clients to really pay attention to until they hit a roadblock, and we're like, "Hey, our nutrition's dialed in, our training's dialed in, but you're still sleeping 4 hours a night." So until you start sleeping more, we're not going to see the impact that we want to see. And then they do it, and they realize that things start to work for them. But sleep is crucial because that's where our body repairs itself. Kind of think of sleep as if you watch, NASCAR, know anything about it, they have the routine pit stops where they got to change the tires out. They got to do whatever else they do. I don't know the specifics, but I know they do a lot of stuff to the car in the pit stop. Sleep is like our pit stop. Like your body, you wake up at 6, 7, 8 a.m. You might not go to sleep for another, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours or so. Your body has undergone a lot. Like you've increased stress levels. You've, burned out calories. You've expended a lot of energy. Your body is a pit stop. And it needs to be able to replenish everything that you did from the previous day, reset your metabolism levels, thyroid levels, stress levels, all that. It needs to be able to reset that. And especially if you're working out, what happens is people think you build muscle in the gym, but you really don't. You tear muscle down in the gym. That's why it hurts and it burns. You build muscle in your sleep. Your sleep is where your muscle actually starts to repair itself. Because if you do some bicep curls, your muscle is going to tear a little bit. And what happens is when you go to sleep or throughout the course of the day, your body's going to start to add more muscle tissue to that muscle. That's
Mhm.
what makes muscles bigger and more defined because they get a new reinforced layer of tissue. But if you're getting poor quality sleep, 3-4 hours of sleep, or you're in and out of sleep, all day, or all night, then your body's not going to recover as well, which means you're not going to see as much progress. So I would say getting 7 to 8
Mhm.
uninterrupted hours of sleep is huge for health, not just for your body, but for your overall health.
Mhm.
Yeah. Go ahead, Marcy.
Wow. Next question. You spoke briefly earlier about men getting. Let's talk about doctors. We have 4 men on this panel right now. What is it about men that you guys are so afraid of going to doctors to check out your health? And I know I've heard some say, well, it seems like when we go to the doctor, it's like we get like almost a death sentence. But the problem is, you didn't. If had you gone earlier, you might not have such a death sentence because you're not really taking care of your health. So from all 4 of you, can you guys just tell us what it is about being afraid of going to the doctor, and what can you tell men out there to maybe possibly get our men to start taking better care of themselves?
Well, I can't pronounce my doctor's name. Go ahead, Montel.
I would say, and it's something that I struggled with a lot too.
Mhm.
But when I was younger, I guess it's just kind of you grow up that way where it's like men don't really, go to the doctor,
Mhm.
get my regular routines or whatever now. But I think a big part of it is you kind of know that you haven't been taking care of yourself the way that you're supposed to. So you
Mhm.
don't really want to confront and face it. I think that's
Mm.
the biggest thing. It's like, if you're married and you've been talking to another person, you don't really want your wife or your husband to check your phone because
Right, right.
you know you ain't been doing what you're supposed to do. I think it's kind of the same concept. You
Wow.
know that there might be something bad around the corner because you probably feel it too. If you haven't been doing what you're supposed to do in your health, you kind of know that you don't feel the way that you felt a long time ago. I think that's
Right.
Mm.
I agree.
Maurice,
Wow.
anybody else want to answer that? Because
Yeah, I said it.
I don't know
Go
my
ahead, Mark.
doctor's name, so I
I'm
can't
gonna
get in the
tell you.
doctor and say Stamanamalapolis like I can't pronounce Marcy's middle name.
My
Whatever.
doctor's name is Holloway, and he's a
Nice
brother.
Christian name. Go ahead.
And he's a brother, and he'll tell you in a heartbeat, just like it is. If you don't do it, you're gonna die. It's simple. It's just that simple. I mean, it's the bedside manner might not be there, but sometimes we gotta be cracked over the head like that. Or a lot of times, what I heard from brothers back in the day, man, it's gonna cost me an arm and a leg. Not if you got insurance, use it. If you got insurance, I know some brothers who got insurance up the butt and will not use it. Will not take your butt to the doctor. I was one of those cats too that thought, I was super. That S on my chest wasn't for super; it was for stupid. So,
Mm.
I mean, it was just
Whoa.
not. I had insurance, just heavy duty insurance, and would not use it. Boy, but let one of my kids get sick or something. Shoot, I'd be up there cussing people out. Y'all need to get on it, So it didn't make no sense for me to have that insurance or have all of that and not use it. It just didn't make no sense. So now I've been using the shoe last 15, 20 years. So,
As we get older, we feel these aches and pains. So I guess we
stuff start crackling and popping.
Montel, let me ask you, man, what is your definition of a dad bod or a man bod? You can use any one of us if it looks that way. Go ahead.
Hey, y'all looking good, man. Y'all looking good. I don't think y'all. I don't know if y'all. For me, a dad bod is going to be fat in dangerous places. And when I say dangerous, I'm talking about your midsection being the biggest one. A lot of people think it's just like an aesthetics or a looks thing, but having a big gut, especially when the rest of your body is not that big, is a clear sign that we've got inflammation, that you've got poor gut health, that you've got fat around your organs. And this is what causes heart attacks, heart disease, liver failure, kidney failure. It's the fat buildup around the organs because you have to think about, a lot of people don't think about it. If you see, somebody's say 300 pounds, the man's 300 pounds and he's say 120 pounds overweight, he's 120 pounds overweight on the outside and on the inside. The fat in your body, it coats your esophagus and your tongue and your brain, like everything. If you gain body fat on the outside, you gain it on the inside too. That's why I say look at that dangerous fat. It's like, do you have a big protruding gut? And also the man boob is one of the big reasons why, I kind of harp on that, mostly because guys, they harp on it too, because, no guy wants the boobs to drop. Just like you're talking about, Greg, like your son was like, hey, you got to work on that. No man wants, that to happen. But the reason that I find it so important is because typically a lot of body fat in the chest area is going to be a sign of lower testosterone, because lower testosterone means higher estrogen. When you have
Estrogen.
higher
I was
estrogen,
going to say,
exactly, you get body fat around areas that you wouldn't tip this. And it also, if you get body fat around the chest, you're probably going to get it around your hips, around your glutes, stuff like that. It's because your estrogen levels are increasing and your testosterone is lowering, which is extremely dangerous for a man, especially mentally. If your estrogen levels are high as a guy, you're probably going to experience depression, anxiety, mental fatigue, mental fog. Like, it's going to mess with you mentally way before it really starts to impact you physically. So that's something that we really want to address, because testosterone is where men get their drive, their ambition, their motivation, all that stuff. So definitely want to work on that.
So guys, let's, if you, especially as you get older, my age, and Jeff, you're still young, but
yeah, my age.
If your man boobs sag lower than your wife's man boobs,
You know what?
If you got a little short set on your chest, then
right. But Montel gives us 3 tips on how to lose that man.
Busy dad trying to get in shape, but you don't know where to start. Here's the only 3 things you need to focus on. Get stronger. More strength equals more muscle equals a higher metabolism. Manage your stress. A body under stress is not going to burn fat, and it's not going to build muscle. Eat real food. Don't worry about the best diet. Just eat single ingredient, whole foods every meal. And hit that follow button if you're ready to go from dad bod to everyday athlete.
Important. 3 tips. Those are 3 sage tips too. All right, Marcel, you got another question?
Yes. You hear a lot of doctors say, "Oh, take a everyday daily vitamin," and I know it's better to get your vitamins from your food. How important is it to actually take like a daily vitamin and all these different vitamins that they're pushing for you to take now?
Yeah, it's
chemical
crazy.
vitamins.
If you listen to certain people, if you scroll social media long enough, you'll have bought $1,000 worth of vitamins.
Yeah.
I would say, because
include those testosterone boosters.
Yeah, all that crap. It can be detrimental to take, let's say if your vitamin D, if you have optimal levels of vitamin D and you start taking extra vitamin D on top of that, like, you're gonna get sick. You're gonna feel terrible. So getting your blood work done and figuring out what your levels are is super easy panel. It'll, test your cholesterol, your vitamin, your iron, your magnesium, those kind of essential levels. See where you are. And then from there, you can figure out what to add to your diet and then what to supplement. And then you go back. And once your levels are optimal, you can probably drop whatever supplement. Like, I know my wife is low iron, and she had to take iron supplementation along with, obviously making different foods, eating more leafy greens, getting more red meats in, which are being vilified, and they're an extremely, extremely nutritional source of food, the red meat. But getting those in, getting our leafy greens in, and our levels return back to normal. And then she was able to stop taking the iron supplementation. So it's all about just understanding where your body personally is, which is a big thing that we do inside our programs, is because I know there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of, just information overload being thrown at everybody. So it's super important to understand what your body needs specifically, because what Gina needs is not going to be what Marcella needs. What Greg needs is not going to be what Jeff needs. So just making sure you know where you're
This is why we sought you out. I got you, Marcel.
Yeah.
Why we sought you, I sought you out because, as you just said, there is a lot of misinformation out there. And as I went out there, I was looking at several different guys, and I'm like, well, this guy seems, number 1, down to earth. Number 2, know what he's talking about. Number 3, he wants to help you. And you're so articulate with what you want to do and what you're giving to people. So we appreciate it. Marcella, take us to that.
Let's just take a quick break with our life coach to redirect, regroup, and refocus with life coach Jeff Relaford.
She's so happy.
All right, y'all. For 2023, this is gonna be very, very simple. Okay. As we start off the new year, have fun with what you want to do in life.
Yes.
We always want to be super critical, right? We always want to say, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. But do it, but just make fun out of it. Make sure that you enjoy it. Make sure that it brings you some type of peace. Because I'm telling you, y'all, if you have fun with your goals, your objectives, and taking the steps to get to where you want to go, I promise you, you will be fulfilled, okay? And you will be on your way to a happier you.
That's life coach Jeff Rutherford. He has
Hey, real
Mondays, all right? Give me the real, all right, Jeff.
That's right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
Montel also gives us, you work with the mind too, am I correct?
Yeah.
Trying to change people's, the way that they think about getting healthy. You want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so it honestly all starts there with just like with anything, honestly. A lot of guys and girls don't really understand what they want out of their health or their body, and they don't really understand why they have made maybe some poor decisions in their eating habits or why they can't motivate themselves to go to the gym. So it's all about understanding, why that is for you. What I found for a lot of guys is that guys don't really we a lot of us have a self-worth issue. And what I mean by that is we don't really see value in ourselves as a person, but we see value in our bank account and the job title and our car and our house. Like that's where men play, or their wife and kids, like, providing, like, oh, they look good or they got everything they want. That's where we place our value. But we don't really place a ton of value in ourselves. So helping guys, kind of make that link where it's like, man, imagine how much more success you might have in your business or how much more you be able to provide for your family if you were extremely confident, if you were extremely happy, if you were energetic, if you had if you added years and years and decades to your life. Imagine how much more wealth you'd be able to accumulate to pass down to your family, like kind of linking things that are important to guys. I'm sure to all of you guys, you have, you got kids, you have a family, you want to set them up for life. And it's like, hey, I promise you can do that a whole lot better if you're energetic, if you're focused, if you're confident in yourself, because this is going to help you go, take advantage of more opportunities. It's going to help you put yourself in better situations. It's going to help you show up better to the people around you. Like I'm sure every single one of us, our girls would probably like us to be a little bit happier, nicer, a little bit, more energetic, a little bit more charismatic, all those different things that you get once you get yourself in shape and you start feeling better. So that's why I feel like mental plays such a big factor because it bleeds into how we interact in life. So we definitely focus on that.
Absolutely. They're asking me, which is I'm doing all of this posting and stuff like that, and I forgot to put up the links for his media platforms. All right, so we'll get that up there once we get an opportunity to. Montel also gives us men. He lays it out there: 20-minute upper body workout. All of y'all need it, okay, so that you won't be having to wear that training bra. All right, 20-minute upper workout. Let's
Put
go.
20 minutes on the clock and get this upper body workout in. Each exercise 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off for 5 rounds. Number 1 is going to be the overhead shoulder press. 2 is going to be the alternating bicep curls. 3 is going to be chest supported rows for your upper back. And 4 is going to be inverted rows for those lats. Follow for more training routines.
And this is all on TikTok, guys. So if you go to Montel's LinkedIn page, Facebook page, all of his links are on there. Definitely some encouraging thing for men. All right. And Montel, you said your wife does it as well, right?
Yes, my wife has her own women's health and fitness company. She works specifically with moms looking to kind of get their health back because, sure, all my moms that are listening, you can, realize and attest to how difficult it is going through the process of pregnancy once, twice, 3, 4 times, and having to kind of deal with the repercussions of it from your body. And she kind of helps women get their body back to a place where they have control over it now. So
Man, ask her, can she come on and do a show for the women? All right.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
She absolutely can. I'm signing up right now. She probably hear me in the room over there.
Tell her we want her next Monday. We're gonna have Monday's gonna be the Hardin Mondays.
Yeah. Good to me.
Most definitely. Jenny had a question.
Well, I was going to say we don't want to discriminate and just help the guys.
Exactly.
Hey, look,
You know, we the hard head.
there's more of us on here than there are you. So right now,
Montel, you posed the question. You posed the question. What's the hardest part of eating healthy? Now you already told us it's not money because you could do it on $20. You told us that already. So what's the answer to that question?
It's mental. It's separating. I think we especially in America, this is the land of milk and honey. You walk out your door and you can eat whatever you want at any given time. Actually, you don't even have to walk out the door anymore. We got DoorDash, the worst thing that was ever invented.
I'm the king of DoorDash. Oh Lord.
We got DoorDash, we got Uber Eats. You can sit on your couch. Yeah, you can sit on your couch and you can
wait.
You don't even have to walk to get your food anymore.
Wait, you telling everybody you on a diet? Why you getting so damn big then? Because ain't nobody seeing you out, right?
Exactly. That's it. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just realizing that food is nutrients and substance first, and it's taste second. Like a lot of people get that mixed up, and anytime you think about what you want to eat is, oh, what do I have a taste for? Oh, what sounds good? Like these are the type of things that come in your mind. You don't think about, I haven't had much, protein today, so let me get a, high protein meal, or I haven't had a vegetable today. Let me find something in it. That's not how we think about food, and it probably sounds crazy for me to even say that, but that's how I think about food. That's how my wife thinks about it, and that's how we try to get our clients and our programs to think about food. Is what does my body need? And it's just by being in tune with how you're feeling. If you got a headache because you realize you haven't ate all day, you probably need, some healthy fats, and then you need a carb source to kind of get your blood sugar back, back to normal levels and things like that. And just kind of thinking about what your body needs on a regular basis. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, hey, food is supposed to be for nutritional purposes. It's supposed to be to build you up. And then if it's good, that's a plus. Not saying that you need to eat, bland food or food that you hate, because you don't have to at all. But first order of business is, how does this food serve me positively? Just like you would ask with anything in your life, that friend, that job, whatever. How does this serve me? Food the same way. How does this serve me other than the quick pleasure that I get from it tasting good as it proceeds to destroy my body as I digest it?
Wow.
Absolutely, man. We got one more here. And Montel is telling us how to be more disciplined. Y'all check this out.
4 things I do every morning to become a more disciplined man. Check my bank accounts and all spending from the previous day. Weigh in and look at myself in the mirror. Devotional and daily gratitude practices. Set a health, wealth, and relationship goal that I have complete control over for that day. How many of these do you do on a regular basis?
Wow.
Explain that, Montel.
Yeah, so like I said, when I was younger, I felt like I struggled a lot with discipline, doing what I said I was going to do. And that kind of bled over into, I moved out at like 19. Mama did not want me to move. She was like, you ain't ready yet. She was right. But I mean, I guess you won't ever be ready until you actually get out there and do it. But
that's true.
Yeah, I had no clue how to manage money, how to budget bills and stuff like that. Like the much, I make this much amount of money. I got enough money. But then you don't think about the fact that your pay periods, that pay periods impact what you can afford.
Yes,
facts, bro.
Pay periods impact what you can and can afford. I didn't have any clue about anything like that. So made a lot of, financial mistakes, put myself behind an 8-ball. A lot of times when I was young, bought cars that weren't financially, I just did not know what to do. And because of that, I never checked my bank account. I never looked at how much money I had. I never attempted to save anything. And until I started to change that, I kept being broke. And even when I started to make more money, I was like, okay, I make more than enough money to not be in this situation. So how can I make sure that I get myself out of that? And it started by, hey, check your bank account every single morning. Look at what you bought. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, I bought, a pair of shoes today, and I got, $15 worth of food from somewhere. I was like, man, I can't keep doing this. Like, I'm spending way too much money. So I started to kind of check that. And then also with the weighing in and looking in the mirror, that's how I've always made sure we've, obviously had a baby. We've traveled all over the country. We've worked 16-hour days building a business. And the only way that I've been able to stay on track, or the biggest reason, is because I weigh myself every single morning, not because I'm anal about what I weigh, but
Mhm.
because I want to make sure that I don't let it get too far. Because what happens when we eat terribly and we know we're not working out, checking that scale. You don't look at that scale. You might throw it under the sink. Like, you don't even want the scale around you when you know that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. But for me, it's my accountability. And if I see that, on Monday I was 172, and then the next Monday I weigh in and I'm 175, I'm like, okay, cool. Let's dial it back a little bit.
All
Like,
right, there you
we were
go.
tripping a little bit last week. Let's dial it back. And then let's figure out how to get back on track. So that's why, I kind of focus on those things every single morning, because it helps me stay disciplined, because it helps me be aware of what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis in my most important area.
Man, I'm telling you, this has been a great show. This
Yes.
is how you start off the year, okay? Getting yourself right and ready, all right? Hardin Athletics is his company. He also has a women's division. His wife is talking about it. We want her on here, Montel. We want her on. All right? So everybody go here to Hardin Athletics and check him out, all right? It's on YouTube. It's on LinkedIn. And you got some great stories, too, that he's put out there. And you can see him on Facebook as well as Montel Hardin. So check him out. Make sure that you guys subscribe to what he's doing, all right? Because I'm telling you, I've already changed a couple of things that I'm doing already, just listening to Mr. Montel Hardin. We appreciate you coming through the show, man, today, hanging out with us and giving us some direction, making us be a little bit more disciplined. Before we get out of here, though, Montel, we always go around the room and we let everybody give some words of advice and some good things so that the audience can get their mind right. And we're gonna start with you,
man. If you're obviously it's the new year, everybody's trying to get in shape. Enjoy the process. Don't obsess over the outcome. Don't obsess over the goal. Just just focus on the fact that you're doing things that are positive to your body, to your mind, to your health, and just fall in love with the process. That's my biggest thing.
Absolutely. Marcel.
Yes, men, please take care of yourselves. If you haven't been doing and you can do better, start with today. Take it one day at a time. We need our men healthy, mind, body, and soul in our community. We need our kings healthy. Do what you need to do to get healthy.
Sorry about that.
I don't want man boobs.
Don't get him in.
But for real though, man, be so self-conscious about your health. Really take a self-inventory on yourself, because in today's world, man, we got so many things available to us. It's so easy to let go. So do a little inventory on yourself. Really ask yourself the question: did I let go? And if you did, get it right.
Nope.
Man, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. And bro, I am so glad you did this show, because as everybody knows, I've had my health challenges in the last 5 years, and it seemed like it came on like a gang of bricks. But I have been slowly but surely already doing some of the things you're talking about, and I'm telling you guys out there, please, please, please look this fellow up and do some of these things so you can get yourself together, because we're not going to be here forever.
Absolutely. Jenny.
Well, Montel, you dropped some gems today. And one thing I want to add, I know you talked about the mind and you talked about the body, but there's a financial standpoint with that too, because men that have health problems with that age, the insurance is higher when you try to get life insurance. So that plays a big part. So it's not just, it just all falls into place. So you got to think about the body, you got to think about the mind, but you also have to think about the financial aspects of it.
Absolutely. And we never have enough time to do an entire show and get everything that we need from our guests. All right. But again, look on the websites and get Montel's information. But one thing that we didn't touch on today, Montel mentioned discipline. He told us what we need to do to change our diet. All right. But with all of this comes consistency. You have to be consistent. You have to continue to do it. It's not a thing of being, at the end of the year, everybody says, well, my resolution. Don't do a resolution. Just continue the path that you're going. All right. And just adjust, make different changes so that you can continue to be consistent with the things that you're doing. Montel, we appreciate you coming through, bro, for real.
I appreciate y'all.
This is how I wanted to do this, man. This is how we needed to do this show. We need to start off by getting people right off the bat, right off the man.
I can't wait for the women tips.
Yes.
Hey man, get your.
And I think we supposed to have the boobs.
Tell your wife she
I think so too, Gina. I do
That's right,
think we're
Gina.
supposed to have them.
You're supposed to have what?
Please.
She said the boobies.
The boobs.
No man boobs.
Man,
No,
Oh, man.
get out of here. Deborah Johnson Givens, thank you. Consistency, that's what I
Yes.
said. All right. Deborah Johnson, I'm gonna call you because I gotta talk to you as well. But Montel, hey man, it's been great. This is your platform, bro. Anytime you need us, just holler at me. We got you. If you got something new coming up, you want to talk about, use this. We got you, no doubt. This is it's been a great show, man. Dope Living TV Live. We will see you guys tomorrow. It's the second show of the year, so
Peace.
y'all need to get down. You need to get down with it. Say, thanks, Montel.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Sir.